The Shure MV7 was a microphone that I reviewed over a year ago and liked it, but not enough to really recommend it for the price. However, this time, Maono actually decided to jump into this niche and offer a special microphone of their own. So this one is meant to compete directly with the Shure MV7. So introducing the Maono PD400X, this is both an XLR and USB microphone. So strap in and let's dive right in. So while I let this unboxing run, I wanted to let you know that I will be recording this entire review with this microphone. Most of it will be done in the XLR configuration, but I will have a section dedicated to USB because there are some features that are exclusive to the USB mode. This microphone comes with a thin windscreen, an XLR cable, a USB-C cable, and a little stand as well. The exterior design consists of metal for the entirety of the build. This is definitely a nicely built microphone, and actually reminds me more of the Samsung Q9U in terms of its looks, which is actually one of my favorite XLR microphones out there. This one is very nice and still has that typical Maono charm that I'm used to seeing from their products. On top, you're going to find a gain knob that adjusts the microphone gain, then you can tap it once to get to the headphone gain, and then tap it again to access the mix. There is also a touch-sensitive mute switch that isn't too responsive, but it's fine for what it is. It's pretty cool to have nonetheless. On the back, you're going to find an XLR port, USB-C port, a headphone jack, 4 different EQ settings, and the switch for going between them. This microphone is packed with quite a lot of things onto it, and I'm definitely more than interested in seeing how well it does with everything. Now, this is a cardiodynamic microphone with an undisclosed frequency range, since I don't really have that information yet, and it is addressed from the very top, just like this. And now we're going to switch over to the USB configuration. So this is because I want to be able to switch between the different preset EQ settings and see what it sounds like. However, hopefully this will be useful to you. So from here until I talk about the XLR configuration next, we're going to be done pretty much entirely in this USB configuration, so that's what you're going to be hearing from here on out. In the USB setting, it doesn't seem like this microphone can really get quite as loud as it can with an actual audio interface connected onto it. It doesn't really sound as dark, it doesn't really sound as podcast-esque. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because it does still sound fairly clean. Maybe not super accurate like a lot of people would want it to be, but it is still a pretty solid sound. Now, I also wanted to note that I have been using the completely flat setting on this, like that preset on this microphone, so that's exactly what that preset is going to sound like. And right now, I'm using the preset that has a dips on the low end. So this is exactly what you should be expecting out of that. And this is what it's going to sound like when there is just a little bit less low end, and I would say that honestly it does sound a little bit better than the flat setting, just because it sounds like it does have considerably more depth to it. Now this one here is going to be the mids boost switch, which is going to be immediately apparent. The mids are just going to be pretty much blowing up here. Not too much. It is still a relatively pleasant increase, and it seems like it would be better for people with certain types of voices, so that's worth keeping into consideration. However, I've noticed that it handles plosives a little bit less amicably, I want to say, whenever it is in the setting, so that's what you should expect from that. And now this setting in particular is probably actually my least favorite of the bunch. So this is the one with the mids boost that I just did, and the one that also has that dip in the lows. I'm just not a huge fan of how that sounds personally. It does sound a little bit similar to the flat setting, I want to say, but I would probably prefer the flat setting over this one. Like, I'm just not too sure about the combination of those two in tandem. Now, when it comes to the monitoring aspect, which, by the way, this microphone does have a headphone jack, so you can most certainly monitor your audio directly from it, even in the USB configuration. And I have to say that the monitoring is really, really, really good on this microphone. They absolutely nailed it. It sounds exactly how you would hear it back in the playback, which is fantastic. I love it. I think that they've really nailed that aspect of it. So just as a USB microphone, I really like this microphone as is, and the fact that that's an XLR microphone makes it even better to me. And now let's get back into the actual XLR setting. So now we're back to the setting I prefer to use the most. And I have to say that this microphone does have a bit of a lower end than I would like, which does give it more of a broadcast sound rather than a more natural sound. So based on what I hear, I can clearly tell that this microphone is just meant for podcasting mostly. You can definitely use it for streaming content creation, but not for recording music or voiceover work, because this microphone is far from sounding flat, so you won't really get so much of an accurate sound. But it does sound pretty good. And it just has a very targeted sound, which does mean that it won't be so easy to customize and adjust the levels to get them to sound all that different, but you can definitely still tinker around. I like this microphone, but I wish that it was a little bit more balanced in the sound signature. So now this here is going to be the plosives test. I'm going to be doing the plosives test first with the windscreen and then without the windscreen. Pop, 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 it, pop, 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 it, pop, 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 it, pop, 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 it, pop. Pop, pop, it, pop, 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 it, pop. So now this is going to be the proximity test. I'm speaking into this microphone from maybe about 2 inches away or so. This is what it sounds like from about maybe 6 inches away. This is probably what you should expect. It sounds like from about 1 foot away maybe, and this is what you should expect out of it. So now we're going to get onto the noise floor test, where I'm going to shut up and then you can just listen to everything that's going on around me. I have to say that sound rejection with this microphone is really good. So in conclusion, this is a pretty good microphone, but you should really only get it if you like that darker, more broadcast sound overall, because of most of your audio will be dominated by that particular soundstage. There isn't really much getting around that. However, you do get great sound rejection, which is pretty awesome. I like this microphone. I would definitely tweak it some more though, and if you're interested in it, then definitely try to see what type of sound you can get out of it. Hopefully one that matches your voice the most. And now I just wanted to say that you can't really buy this microphone quite yet. It will launch on Kickstarter sometime in August, so I strongly recommend that you keep an eye out for that, as it is a great microphone. So if you are interested, it is definitely worth the wait. So please keep an eye out for Maono's Kickstarter campaign that again should be starting off in August. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way up until the very end. It is always appreciated. Every time that it's summertime, I suffer more and more because it only gets more and more humid every year. But you guys help me get through it. I have sweat on my eyebrows. And I also wanted to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, beginning with the tier 3s, which are going to be Omar. Thank you so much for all of your support, because it really does go a long way. And everybody else, the tier 2s and the tier 1s, thank you so much for everything. Now, still, I'm going to be shutting down the Patreon on the 29th, so in just slightly over a week, or like a week or so. So please keep that in mind. The Patreon will not be up for much longer. But either way, please don't support it, and thank you so much if you have up until now. Also, please make sure to follow me on both Instagram and Twitch, because I'm more active on Twitch. And on Instagram, I do post every now and then. So with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching. It's 94 degrees here in New York. Until next time, enjoy.